His face looked pale and thin when he knocked on her door. The local police chief looked like he hadn't slept in days. That wasn't surprising. She hadn't slept either. When they had come for her late at night, bursting into her cabin with guns drawn, she knew something was very wrong. The look on the chief's face confirmed it. "Miss Harper, I need you to come with me," the chief said in a rough voice. "There's been another murder." She looked down at the floor. How many murders were there now? 3? Maybe 4, she thought. But this couldn't be happening again. It had been 2 years since the horrible events of that summer. She never planned to stay in the cabin for so long, but she just couldn't leave. The memories were too strong. The pain was still fresh. The chief saw the pain in her eyes. "I know it's hard, Miss Harper, but we need your help. This could be the only way to stop it." When they got to the crime scene, her heart broke. Her neighbor, old Mr. Clayton, was lying dead on his porch with 1 bullet hole in his forehead. As the chief started asking questions, Harper noticed something strange. All 3 murders had happened on nights when the moon was full. Tonight, the moon was almost full. What did it mean? Why had the killer come back after 2 years? She tried to tell them she didn't want to be involved. She was still scared from what happened that summer. But the chief shook his head. "Sorry, Miss Harper, but you're our best lead. You know more than anyone else about these woods and about the killer." Who was the killer? That question had kept her awake at night since the first murder. Back then, the victim was a popular high school girl, Brittany Taylor. Harper had always felt like she didn't fit in with this small town. The people were friendly, but their smiles didn't feel real. They were hiding something. She could feel it. But when Brittany was found dead, the town changed. People stopped talking to her. They didn't ask if she was okay. They just whispered about her and looked scared. Then came the second murder. It was Mr. Clayton's wife. Harper had barely talked to her, but remembered her kind eyes and gentle smile. Then she was gone too. When the sheriff asked Harper if she had seen anything, she shook her head. But the truth was, she had seen something. A shadowy figure running through the woods. When she told the police, they didn't believe her. "A shadowy figure?" they said with a laugh. "That doesn't mean anything." It took weeks for the police to catch someone. It was a drifter passing through town. He confessed to both murders, saying he met Brittany at a bar and took her into the woods. When she refused him, he killed her. Then, while walking in the same woods, he saw Mrs. Clayton and killed her too. But the confession never made sense to Harper. The woods were too big. How could he have killed 2 people in the same area in different months without anyone seeing him? Surely someone else must have seen something too. Now, 2 years later, the killings had started again. When the police came for her, she felt panic rise inside her. What if she was next? That fear made her agree to help. As the chief finished talking to others at the scene, he turned to her with serious eyes. "Miss Harper, we have to find the killer before the next full moon. Whoever it is, they're getting worse. He killed Brittany and Mrs. Clayton during the day, but this time he waited until night. He's getting bolder." Bolder. The word echoed in Harper's mind. She knew the woods well. There were places so dark, even sunlight barely reached. Hidden corners full of shadows. If the killer was using darkness to hide, then he could be nearly invisible. Then, suddenly, she remembered something her grandmother once told her. A story about a medicine man who lived deep in the woods. He gathered herbs and plants to sell, but people also knew him for his knowledge of poisons. Could the killer be using plants from the woods to kill people? The thought made her shiver. While the police were chasing shadows, maybe she was finally on the right path. She thanked the chief for letting her help and rushed home. She needed to look through her grandmother's things. Sure enough, in an old leather book, she found what she needed, a list of common plants and what they could do. Next to each plant, there were nates, from causing a headache to causing death. Her grandmother had used these plants to treat people in town. Many of them still grew wild in the woods near her cabin. Had the killer done the same? Was he picking random victims just to collect the plants he needed for his poisons? Harper looked out the window toward the dark woods. Her heart sank. The full moon would rise in less than 24 hours. The killer might strike again tonight. She decided to start at Mr. Clayton's house. Maybe she could find a clue, some trace of poison or a plant. In the flower bed, she saw something. A crushed piece of deadly nightshade. She recognized other plants nearby too. Foxglove, water hemlock, devil's snare. All of them poisonous. All of them growing in the woods behind her cabin. The killer must have picked them at night. She remembered how the moonlight had shined through her window the night Mrs. Clayton died. Could the killer have used the moonlight to gather his plants? If so, he would strike again tonight, when the moon was high. She ran to the window and gasped. The moon was almost full. In less than an hour, it would be directly overhead. Without wasting time, she grabbed her rifle and ran into the woods. Her heart pounded as she pushed through the trees. Suddenly, she heard a twig snap. She froze, listening. Then, another sound. Someone or something was moving. She raised her rifle, ready to shoot. Then she saw him. It was the drifter from 2 years ago. The man who confessed to the murders. He stumbled out of the bushes, clutching his chest. She lowered her gun slightly. "Are you hurt?" The man looked up, eyes full of fear. "Help me," he whispered. "I need your help." Before she could say anything, he collapsed. She ran to him and knelt down. "Don't worry, I won't let you die." But as she turned his head, she realized it was too late. He was already dead. A single red flower, deadly nightshade, was stuck in his shirt. The killer was dead. But why? Who had killed him? And why? As Harper stood up, she heard footsteps behind her. "Miss Harper! Thank God I found you." It was the What happened? She asked, though he already knew. He pointed at the dead man. "We got a call that someone was back in the woods. We thought it might be the killer. Are you okay?" She nodded. She felt suddenly tired. It had been a long 2 years. "Let's go home," she whispered. As they walked toward her cabin, sirens echoed in the distance. Harper thought the nightmare was finally over. The killer was dead. She could finally move on. But when she unlocked her cabin and stepped inside, something was wrong. Someone had been there. The room was a mess. Drawers were open. Clothes were everywhere. Then she saw it. A single footprint in the dirt near the back door. She stared at it. Slowly her face changed as the truth hit her. She turned to the window and looked out. In the distance, she saw a small, dark cabin. The drifter's cabin. He hadn't been living alone. Someone else had been there with him. That meant the real killer was still out there. A cold chill ran down her spine. She wasn't safe yet. The nightmare wasn't over. It was just beginning.